Welcome to Childhood Trash, a dumpster dive into our childhood nostalgia, where we re-examine the most influential media from our youth in order to answer the question, tragic or nostalgic. I'm your host, Pila Plaka, joined by my co-host,
Maggie Keating.
Maggie, I feel like I'm really far away from you.
I know. Wait, hold on. Wait, let's sit let's get close
We're
today.
We're
cozy today.
You know, we're talking about a cozy movie.
Oh, we're talking about the coziest of cozy movies.
Is it a cozy movie?
In a way, yeah.
Yeah. We're talking about Narnia.
I think the next one is cozier, but
yeah. It's Narnia today.
It's Narnia.
Narnia.
Welcome to Narnia.
The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The first one.
It's all very important.
It is, well, because I found out there are 3 movies.
Really?
I did not know that.
Are you serious?
You
didn't know that?
I want to say, I think I've maybe never seen Narnia. Because I remembered nothing from this movie.
Are you serious? Oh my god, this movie plays in a loop on my head all the time.
Maybe I have seen it, but, it had no, it did not stick in my brain.
Whoa.
I had no memory.
Wait, that's so sad. Did you read the books when you were a kid?
No.
Oh my god.
No. I didn't read books.
Okay, shut up.
No, it's true. I was not a reader when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Aw. Well, I feel like the Narnia books are really sweet. They're worth reading. At least The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is.
So, okay, I recently had a talk with our friend, fellow podcaster, Paige.
At Bagels and More Pod.
At Bagels and More Pod. And she told me that they're all dead.
Oh, that's a theory. That's definitely a theory.
That she said at the end on the last book, you find out that they're all dead and Narnia is heaven and Susan's the only one who's alive.
That's definitely a theory. I don't know. I never finished finished the series. But I will say that Narnia has a lot of religious ties. I know that's why a lot of people weren't allowed to. I know a lot of people weren't allowed to watch these movies just because they're pretty religious.
The movies,
if you didn't grow up in a Christian
house,
you'd be surprised though. You'd be surprised.
Other than Father Christmas, I don't remember there being other.
So.
Religious
I actually did a whole project on this.
Oh my god! This was what your project was on?
Yeah, it was about religion. I timed this very well actually, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that. But basically, Aslan is supposed to be Jesus. If you
no.
C.S. Lewis, literally, no,
not that I don't believe you. I'm just
this
not happy.
This is literally how he wrote the books. That if you placed Christianity in this fantastical world of Narnia,
yeah.
Aslan would be Jesus in Narnia.
Okay. Yeah. And who would the witch be?
The devil.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I don't...
Does that I always liked it. I thought it was a much nicer version of Christianity. I liked the lion.
I guess I can see that. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
It doesn't have to be that deep, though. It doesn't have to be that deep.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was, confused when he, got back up. I was
yeah, what? Literally, that's Easter. Happy Easter.
No, literally.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Going back to the not knowing. So, did you know who Ben Barnes was when you watched Shadow and Bone?
This is such a funny question.
Yeah.
Did I know who someone I don't know who you're talking about was in a show I have not seen?
You haven't watched Shadow and Bone?
No.
Wait, what? You read the books?
I read the first book.
Oh. Well,
I think I DNF'd it actually.
Oh my god, but you did read Six of Crows.
No, I did not.
What?
I haven't read Six of Crows yet. I was supposed to read it over the summer and then I didn't.
Wait, oh my god. Wait, I'm flabbergasted. I'm wait, this is blowing my mind. But anyway, Ben Barnes is a pivotal figure in my life because he's just in all of these weird adaptations of things that I love, for no reason.
Yeah, I know who he is from Shadow and Bone, but I haven't seen Shadow and Bone. And I haven't seen more of Narnia, so.
Okay, well, he's Prince Caspian.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, and he is fantastic.
Is that the love interest of Susan? Or no?
Yes,
Am I making this up?
Sort of, yes. But it's, not, a huge... love isn't, a huge plot line in the movies, at least.
Boring.
I know, but sometimes I fuck with that. Sometimes that's fine with me. But anyway, so this is a pretty, this is one of my faves. Or at least when I was younger, I used to, love these movies and these books. There's 3 main series of books that I read but in my formative years. Mm-hmm. And it's The Hunger Games, Harry Potter, and Narnia. And the 3 of them have shaped the person I am today. Genuinely. I don't think I would be at this school if it wasn't for one of them, they all work together to create Maggie Keating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Dogs, those 3 books.
Yeah.
What else do I always talk about? Oh, that one song by Bridget Mendler.
Oh, yeah.
And that's my entire personality.
Atlantis.
Yes. So
I don't know. Like, I genuinely, when I watched this movie, I was like, I can't tell you if I've watched this movie before. Because
so
I was like, and okay, let me tell you about my watching experience for this movie. I split it up into 2 parts because I could not sit through it.
It was long.
It's a long movie.
Yeah.
And I was so, like, I was the most anxious and stressed I have been watching a movie in a very long time.
Oh my God, why?
I was so stressed. I was like, because the stakes were so high. And I was like, they're not getting out of this. Like, they, like, had everything stacked against them, and I was so concerned for them. And, like, I was genuinely so stressed. Like, that's why I couldn't finish watching it the first time.
I guess that's a good thing, in a way.
But, like,
Good
it was
storytelling.
horrible. It was horrible for me.
Yeah.
I was so stressed. They were gonna die.
It's okay. They didn't die, though.
They didn't die.
So it's okay. So some of the facts about this movie. This is directed by Andrew Adamson of Shrek fame. He directed the Shreks.
When did this movie come out? 2004?
Something like that. So after he, like, was, like, famous for Shrek, they, like, were like, do Narnia now. But
Weird.
then he didn't do, like, anything else ever. So it was, like,
That's
Shrek
like-
and Narnia. That's his legacy.
That's like how Greta Gerwig just did Barbie and now she's doing Narnia.
Okay, can we take a moment to talk about that since you just brought it up?
Of course.
I was very distressed when I heard they were going to be remaking Narnia.
Oh. But how do you feel knowing that it's in Greta
Knowing
Gerwig's
that it's in
hands?
Greta Gerwig's hands, I know I'm going to love it. I love everything.
I just,
But, like,
don't know how I feel about her because it's so Christian.
Right, but I think she'll, like, play with that in an interesting way. She's, like, the kind of person that would.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes I feel very, like, distressed and, like, annoyed when people remake movies that came out, like, during my lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, if they came out in the last, like, 20 years, I don't think that they need a remake. Especially, like, this one.
Is that how you feel about Mean Girls?
Yes. Strongly.
But it's the musical.
I know, but, like, it just, like, doesn't seem like it has the charm of Mean Girls. You know what I mean?
I feel that. And, like, I love Mean Girls the musical. I saw it on Broadway.
I also love Renee Rapp. And, like, a musical is, like...
I don't like the look of it right now.
It's like you're making a movie out of an
Like,
adaptation of the musical.
The same actors can be playing the same roles, and that's where I'm like, I don't know why we're
It's
doing
just
this
weird.
again.
It's just a little weird, but
And they're remaking.
what else do I feel like that about?
Harry Potter.
Yeah, like why are you doing that? Literally,
crazy.
stop. Am I gonna watch it? Probably.
Probably.
But, like,
Am I gonna
no.
watch it immediately? Yes.
Like, don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, they're so special, and, like, even though the Harry Potter movies aren't perfect, they're really
They're
like
perfect in their
comforting.
own way.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't need to, like, mess with that.
Yeah.
So I am a little worried, but I'm sure I'm going to love it because it's Greta Gerwig. If it
Yeah.
was like if it was anybody else, I would be like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
But she's, like, the only person I feel like I could trust.
I'm definitely interested to see what she does with it.
Me too. No, me too. I'm just scared. So the screenplay was written by Anne Peacock, Andrew Adamson, Christopher Marcus, Stephen McFeely. One of these guys, I can't remember who, wrote all of the Captain America and Avengers movies. Like, all of them.
Oh my God. When I was in my teenage boy era in the pandemic and I watched all the Marvel movies,
I did that too. I did that as well. Yeah.
But I did that for the first time. I'd never seen the Marvel movie.
Same.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I love that for us.
Because I wanted to watch the Wanda show. I wanted to watch WandaVision.
Oh, yeah,
which is why I did
exactly.
it. I was like, this looks interesting, so I watched everything so I could watch WandaVision.
I love Captain America. Captain America is my favorite.
Agreed. Yeah, his movies are the best.
Yeah, exactly. That makes me so happy, but also confused.
Right, I know.
This is Narnia.
I know. It's, like, really strange.
And it's like an adaptation too, so it's like
I guess, like, the comic books are sort of an adaptation.
that's true.
But, like, I'm not really into the comics. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm not that much of a freak.
No.
But we could get into the plot if you wish, or anything else.
We can get into the plot. This plot is crazy. Like,
it
I
is
just
crazy.
say, I thought I was turning on this, like, cute, cozy Christmas movie. And then there were bombs.
It starts with bombs.
I literally, like, I have very few notes for this movie because I was, like, very stressed. But my first note that I wrote down was, like, oh my God, they're dropping bombs. Like,
They're literally dropping
they're
bombs.
literally dropping bombs. And these children are, like, running into, like, a little bomb shelter. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, like, the thing I always took from it was that this movie and Narnia in general are supposed to be, like, an escape from all of the terrible things that are happening.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
but like the most terrible thing is happening. Like,
yeah, it's World War II.
It's literally World War II.
It's pretty bad. I don't know. Like, I think that the vibe of the 40s, like suits this movie very well. I know it's when it was written, but it has like this timeless quality about it because of like how far in the past it's set. I just think in general, like, it's easier to like contextualize what's going on because of the war. It just makes sense because then they get like moved to this like new place because they're not like safe in their hometown, and they go and stay with Professor Kirk.
He is played by Professor Slughorn.
Oh my God, you're so right. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
I knew that guy looked familiar, but I was like, I couldn't place it.
Yeah, he's like a famous British actor. I love him.
I do too.
So these children, there's 4 of them. Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy.
Yes.
The pensive children?
The pensive, yeah. Pevensies, sorry. Pevensies.
Pevensey?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the Pevensies.
I feel like in the first scene, you already established, like, their dynamic. You have, like, Peter, he's, like, the surrogate dad. Like,
yes.
He's, like, golden boy, also trying to be father.
Gryffindor, if you will.
Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Susan, she's just there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She's the smart one.
She's okay.
She's the smart one. She's intelligent and, like, wise.
Susan is underutilized in this movie, and
very true.
I feel bad for her.
She gets, like, I think she gets more of a role, like, later on.
Okay.
Because she
didn't die. She's the only one who didn't die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But,
and then there's Edmund.
Edmund.
I love Edmund. Edmund is bringing the angst in this
He
movie.
is.
I love him.
He's so, like, moody and...
I love it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
He's giving me, like, Gabe Duncan.
Bye. It's just because we just watched Good Luck Charlie, It's Christmas, but like yeah, I agree. And then Lucy is like kind of the main character of this movie.
Yeah.
And she's the youngest and the kindest and like the most innocent.
Yeah.
So she gets like we get to see Narnia like through her perspective for a lot of
for sure.
the film, which is very nice because at the beginning at least like when we're like just meeting Mr. Tumnus is so like oh my God, like it's so nice. Basically, they've been moved to this, like, town, this, like, home in the country so that they're, like, safe from all of the bombing of the war in London,
I didn't understand this. Like, I understand it now because I, like, looked it up.
Yeah.
But, like, in the movie, I feel like the movie doesn't do a good job of explaining it. It's
like,
just, like...
who is this man in relation to them?
Who is this man?
Yeah.
Why are they moving? Because, like, you just kind of cut from the scene where they're running away from the bomb with their mom and, like...
Now there's a train.
And then they're on the train and she's, like, saying goodbye. And it's all these mothers saying goodbye to their children. It's like, what is this, like, like... phenomenon? And then they like show up at this random house and I was like, literally, where are they going? Why are they going there?
Yeah.
And I felt like they didn't explain it to me. They were just like, this is just a thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
I definitely had the context of like having read the books already, so I definitely I can see what you mean. But for a long time I was like, what are we doing? Like definitely when I was younger. But they get to the professor's house. I think he's just like referred to as the professor in the book, I feel. But they're playing like hide and seek.
Because they're so bored.
They're bored. There's nothing to do.
They're so bored in their little sweater
it's like
vests.
they're not in, is it summer or is
I don't know.
I feel like, I don't know. I just have this like it was like they were on like a little like car and it was like flowery and then the meadow. I don't even know.
Maybe.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Maybe it was summer. I don't know.
Yeah, no school basically. And they go and they're playing hide and seek and Lucy finds this little like room with a like literally the only thing in the room is a wardrobe.
And it's behind a curtain, so it's like...
Obviously this is something else. Something a little magical, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But she goes to hide in the wardrobe with all of the coats, and it's like all these like huge furry coats.
I love them.
Me too.
They're like... I feel like it's... This part where she's going through the wardrobe is super tactile.
Yeah.
Like, you can really, like, feel it. But, hello.
Fear it. I'm afraid.
You can feel it.
Yes.
Like, the rustling and stuff. Like, she goes through all these fuzzy coats
and then the transition
into like pine needles and stuff, and it's like
it's so good. And then in the it's just the most magical little winter wonderland because she's entered Narnia and she's like, how did I get here? And it's just her. So she comes across the like lamppost,
which is like marking when Narnia starts.
Yes.
Right?
And then when like the real world, like the little portal. And the lamppost, oh my God, like I can just like feel, like I can taste this movie. Like, you know, like I can just like, everything about this movie is so tangible and like it feels so real. I think that's like such a huge part of why it was such a big part of my childhood because of like the like being like, oh, I live in like a very like cold place, so I can pretend that I'm in Narnia. Like,
Oh, perfect.
very wintry.
That's smart.
But Lucy meets Mr. Tumnus.
I love how they meet because they're like,
oh, it's so cute.
He's just like frolicking, like he's just going around, and then she's like, oh my god, like there's a noise, like I'm scared, and then they're both like scared of each other.
I know, he's
and
like,
they're both like, she hides behind the lamppost, which like is not big enough to cover her, and they just do little peeks, and then she's like, are you afraid of me? Also, they're British.
They're so British. Well, yes, they live in London.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that before I watched this movie. I was like, why are they British? I mean, it's okay.
No, they have to be British.
Yeah.
For some reason, nothing magical can ever happen in America.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, we have Percy Jackson, Long
Yeah.
Island Sound, I guess, but like, I'm good.
That's all we are.
But they get Harry Potter and Narnia, so whatever. Mr. Tumnus is like, I feel like
James McAvoy.
yes. First of all, king.
Love him. I love him so much.
Sometimes they're just like, you know, when you like. So, do you ever have? There's like a few characters in my mind that like lots of people look like. I can like sort people. One of them is the annoying kid from Narnia. You know,
Who's the
the
annoying
one in
kid?
the yellow that's like.
From Narnia or the Polar Express?
I meant the Polar Express. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. One of them is that guy
Okay.
from Polar Express.
Yeah.
Another one is Mr. Tumnus. Like, lots of people look like Mr. Tumnus. Like, what's
Who
another
are you
one?
meeting that looks like James McAvoy? And can I meet
Well,
them?
just like, like people, just like literally anybody like with brown hair and a beard.
Oh.
I'm like, you look like him.
Oh, I guess he does have a beard in this.
Yeah, and it's just like a very like, what else? Like sometimes the characters from Fish Hooks come. That's just what comes to mind. But
When are we watching Fish Hooks?
that's the question. I don't think we need to watch a lot of Fish Hooks. Definitely like one episode though. Like I think we're good. Yeah, like Mr. Tumnus is like just like an everyman. I don't know. He's like naked. He's like
is like I don't know how I feel. Like there's a couple things. So like I don't know how I feel about Mr. Tumnus because I love James McAvoy, but I do think it's a little creepy.
he's morally gray.
Yeah.
Like a little.
I mean, like, he does start where he's like, I'm like, I don't trust you. Like,
Yeah.
like I want to like you, but I'm also just like, I don't know. Like,
He looks very like.
he looks superhuman. Like, he
Very
doesn't
human.
look like
But then
another
you see his
thing.
legs. His legs are all.
I
like,
know, and he's going like, do and like,
And he's
whatever.
trotting, and he has this like little red scarf on.
He's
I
stupid
love the
little
red scarf.
I hate it.
No.
Oh my god.
But basically,
Wait, I have one more thing to say about James McAvoy.
okay.
I love James McAvoy.
Me too.
Have you ever seen the movie Penelope?
I haven't.
I love Penelope. It literally solidified James McAvoy in my like tiers of hot men that I love. And like
I guess I've seen like a couple things that he's in. Notably, the one where he plays the person with like multiple personalities. Split. I don't know. Fine. But then I also have seen the one with Keira Knightley. Why am I forgetting what it's called right now? And she's wearing that green dress. It's like during wartime. It's so good.
I don't know.
Why am I forgetting what it's called? Atonement. I've seen Atonement. So good.
I just think of him as the Penelope guy, and once you see Penelope, you'll know what I mean.
Gotcha.
But like, I love that movie so much. It's one of my favorites. It's got Christina Ricci and Catherine O'Hara and James McAvoy.
Wow. That's quite the cast.
It's stacked.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So moving on.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Mr. Tumnus like invites Lucy to his like little humble abode.
Wait, did we say what Mr. Tumnus is?
Oh, he's a fawn.
Yeah.
We never said that, I don't think.
Yeah.
But he has like, what is it, like goat legs, deer
Yeah,
legs, something
something
like that. Like he's like Grover kind of
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
Mr. Tumnus invites Lucy to his house, and like they have like tea and like a little snack.
So cute.
But his house is so cozy. I want to live there so bad. And then he starts like playing her the flute, and the fire starts like
And
showing
then
images of Narnia and Aslan. It's so good. It's so good.
this is when I was like, this is a little creepy.
No, I know it's like a little weird,
Yeah.
but like I've something about it is so like comforting and like the magical like Fantasyland stuff. Even if it's like scary, it's kind of like amazing. I don't know. It's like just so good. But then Lucy falls asleep, and Mr. Tumnus has like kind of lured her to sleep with the song. I think is what we're supposed to be like believing.
No, so she falls asleep, and then when she wakes up, he's like, "Aw, I love being your friend. Like, I love hanging out with you. It's too bad I'm kidnapping you." And And she's like, wait, what the fuck?
It's so funny.
And basically he's like, yeah, but I don't want to, like, and we get the whole backstory of, like, the Winter Witch is, like, looking for a human, and the humans are gonna do something that's gonna take her down, and, like, whatever.
Yeah. So Lucy goes home.
Yeah.
He sends her home. This time he sends her home.
Yes.
And hardly any time has passed, and her siblings, like, don't
She ruins
believe,
hide and seek.
Yeah, they don't
Ruins
believe
it.
her story because they're like, you're just a little girl with an active imagination, even though she...
I would hate to be Lucy.
I would hate to be Lucy. They gaslit her.
They really did. But, like, honestly, like, who would... like, I wouldn't believe her.
No, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
But, like, it makes... But then they all find out. Oh, my God.
Eventually.
That it's real.
Eventually.
So Edmund follows Lucy into the wardrobe because he's, like, the second youngest, so he's kind of, like, he wants to believe in it, and, like, she doesn't know that he's there. She goes back
Edmund.
to, like, she goes back to visit Mr. Tumnus.
Yeah.
And Edmund meets the White Witch. This scene is so iconic. Oh, my God. This is so iconic. The Turkish Delight.
Have you ever had a Turkish Delight?
No, I haven't.
They're kind of gross.
They are?
Yeah.
What is Turkish Delight?
They're like little gummies, and then they're, like, coated in powdered sugar.
Ah. Okay.
But I was like, I really wanted to bring up Turkish Delights because when I was in London, they had Turkish Delights, and I was like, ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah, but it reminded me of this.
I know, we should have done, like, a little taste test. But,
so, the Winter Witch, like, basically, like, enthralls Edmund, and she's like, I can get you anything you want. Like,
I'm the queen of Narnia.
Yeah, and all he wants is Turkish Delights, which, like, that's pretty easy.
I know, like, he's being, like lured by this witch because of the Turkish Delight. It's like, that's
it's
all
not
it took.
any bigger thing. Like,
that's all it took.
It would make more sense to me if he would been like, had it been like something like Home Alone-y, where he's like, no one in this family likes me. Like, I feel so like an outcast.
Yeah.
Like, if he had something like that, but it's like, no, like, he just wants a Turkish Delight.
Yeah.
And like, and she's like, I'll give it to you if you bring me your 3 siblings.
Your 3 whole siblings.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, more Turkish Delight in exchange for literally my family, I guess. The witch leaves him behind to bring all the siblings to her, and Edmund and Lucy reunite. So they're like, oh my God, you're in Narnia? I'm in Narnia. Or Lucy tries to tell Peter and Susan, but Edmund is being a little snaky snake. And he's like, no, Narnia isn't real. Lucy's crazy.
I kind of love that he did that.
He's such a gaslighter. It's crazy.
I don't know. Every time he did something bad, I was like, I love it. I love that he, like, because I think it's really interesting that he's not, like, an antagonist, but he is, like, not, I don't know, like, he's one of the main characters, but he's not, like, a good guy.
Yeah, he isn't a good guy. That's true. I guess,
you know,
when Peter and Susan bring they're like, my God, everybody's fighting over Narnia, and they're like, they go and talk to the professor about it. He suggests that maybe Lucy is telling the truth, and they should believe her.
And it's, like, implied that, like, he went there as a kid.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do they ever, like, in the books or anything, have, like, an origin story of this wardrobe?
Yes. So, like, Narnia isn't, like, or the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe is not the first book in the Narnia series. I can't believe you're learning all this. This is so exciting.
What?
So, the first book is titled The Magician's Nephew, and I believe it is, like, about the professor, like, when he's young, and he's going to Narnia, like, for the first time. But it like, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, like, functions, like, as a standalone book in a lot of ways. Huh. And there's just, like, a lot of, like, so the series is, like, pretty, like, very much, like, out of order. Like, when you're reading it, it's, like, it's not just about the Pevensies. It's about, like, there's, I think the fourth one is called The Horse and His Boy, or maybe that's the third one. But they're, like, they're all just sort of, like, about different tales of Narnia. But you do follow, like...
Do they all have, like, the same, like, beats of the story?
I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've read them.
Okay.
But,
book club.
Yeah, well...
we
tried. We tried. I would read these again, though. These ones, and I know they're good, so it's, like, a little better. But there's a little origin story there.
Okay.
So the 4 siblings end up, like, retreating to the wardrobe because they're playing a game and, like...
They break a window.
Accidentally break a window, and, like... I feel like I can't remember if one of the reasons that they're, like, really scared about, like, having broken the window, I think it's because, like, when they got there, it was like, don't ruin anything in the house.
Yeah, like, there's, like, this creepy housekeeper, like, character who, like, like, why? Like, there's no reason why she needs to be so creepy.
Yeah.
But, like, the second the kids showed up, she was just like, don't touch anything, don't have fun, don't play, like, don't make noise. And they were like, what? Like, why
Literally
are we,
what?
like, we're
Yeah.
children, and, like, you said we could come here. Like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I think they're, like, scared of this woman. And so they run away because they hear her coming. And so they run into the room with the wardrobe, and they all hide in the wardrobe. Because that's what you do with your siblings.
Because, of course, you hide in the
Me and
wardrobe.
my 3 siblings, we always hide in the wardrobe.
We always are hiding in the wardrobe. Me and Lila, you know how it is.
Yeah.
But eventually, they discover Narnia, the 4 of them. And Peter's like, Edmund, you're literally a liar. Apologize to Lucy. And it, like, pisses him off a little bit. And then they discover that the witch has taken Mr. Tumnus because Lucy went to go, like, show them and be like, look, these are all my siblings. And look, here's
And
Mr.
she, like,
Tumnus.
ransacked his house and stuff, and he had, like, this...
They destroyed his humble abode.
They really did.
It's so messed up. And they meet a couple of talking beavers. Oh my god, I love them. I literally love them.
I don't know what to make of this movie, to be honest.
No, you just have to love it. All the
I
animals
just-
talk. Everything is like, the trees talk. Like,
Yeah.
it's so cool.
Yeah.
And I just love a little, like, furry animal that's like
A beaver?
a beaver. That's like, I'm gonna save the day because I am a main character now. It's so funny.
I feel like they just come out of the blue, and they're just like, pew.
Pew, I'm a beaver.
Yeah. And they're like, we're gonna help you now. And it's like, because we love humans, and we love,
And
I
we
keep
believe
wanting
in
to call
Aslan.
it, I keep wanting to call Aslan Asgard.
Oh no, like,
because it's
yeah,
same
it does
thing.
sound very similar.
But anyway,
And the beavers basically say that Aslan plans to return and regain control over Narnia because the White Witch has, like, created, like, an eternal winter, basically, in
Yes.
Narnia.
And do they ever say, like, where he's been?
He's
He's been around.
yeah, like, at the end of the movie, they're like, Aslan always comes when he's the most needed.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, the fact that he's, like, the Jesus figure, it's, like, kind of, like, you know, he's coming to, like, perform miracles, pretty much. But, I know. But, I mean, even, like, there's, like, a prophecy that says, like, 2 sons of Adam and 2 daughters of Eve will, like, sit on their
I forgot about
thrones,
that.
and, like, the rich's, reign will be over. So, like, they're supposed to be the ones to save Narnia, which is the entire reason why the White Witch doesn't want the humans, like, in Narnia.
True. They also grab their coats at this point, and they grab.
Oh my god, yes. I know, they're finally feeling the cold.
Yeah.
they're
And
like,
Edmund's like, this is a woman's coat.
This is a woman's coat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, oh my god, Will Poulter. Do you know Will Poulter? He's like the Galley in the Maze Runner series.
Is he in Narnia?
Yeah. He's in the second ones. He's like their cousin. This guy.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he is like that as well. He's like Edmund, but like even more.
Even more Edmundy?
Yeah. He's so
I love
annoying.
Edmund.
Yeah. But basically
Edmund sneaks off
yes, to visit the witch.
to visit the witch because, like, he's kind of in love with her. And, like, honestly, she slays. Like, have you
She
seen
does
her
slay.
outfits? Like,
She does
the
slay.
way that they do, like, they make her look so, like, larger than life
Yeah.
and, like, so, like,
And she has like
supernatural.
dogs, and she has like all of this like really cool stuff.
and the way they, like, cut her, like, tops is really interesting because they leave, like, they make this weird, like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like,
Yeah,
It's
no,
really
it's really
interesting.
cool, and she has all these like servants around her,
Yeah.
and like her palace is so beautiful.
Yeah.
The ice palace. If there's an ice palace, I'm sat. Like in any situation, I
Elsa.
fuck with an ice palace. Elsa, Frozen, love Frozen.
yeah.
What is it? Shark Boy and Lava Girl, Ice Palace. Like it's so every time, it like yeah, without fail, I love an ice palace. So the witch sends wolves to find the children. And
I like the wolves. The wolves
I
are interesting.
love wolves. Wolves in the wintertime theme in this movie. And like these like 2 episodes we're about to do.
wolves in the winter.
Wolves in the wintertime. Like there's something about wolves and deer in like snow.
Yeah.
That's just like, oh, it's so good in my head. I love it so much.
So these wolves also talk, and they're, like, very snarky, and they're, like, running after the beavers.
yeah.
And-
They're kind of like Flotsam and Jetsam from The Little Mermaid.
Who's that?
The eels. You
I
know,
have no
Ursula's
recollection of
eels. Okay.
It's been a while since I've
Yeah,
seen The
that's
Little
okay,
Mermaid.
that's okay.
But, so they, like, they get into the beaver's house and, like, they quickly escape. And they have this fox friend who, like, is, like, he's, like, morally gray. Like, we don't know about the fox. We don't know if he's gonna, like,
he's like, swipe or no swiping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're, like, they ask the fox, and they're, like, which way did they go? And he, like, tells them the wrong way.
The witch is trying to get the kid's location out of Edmund. And Mr. Tumnus is trying to, like, defend him because, like, we're, like, the whole time we're supposed to be, like, rooting for Mr. Tumnus's, like, redemption. Like, you understand, like, you're supposed to understand that, like, he is, like, being forced to do this, but, like, a lot of the characters wouldn't. So it's kind of, like, I don't know.
Being forced to do what, you mean?
To, like, kidnap the kids.
But he didn't kidnap them.
Or, like, no, I guess you're right. Yeah.
Like, he almost did.
He almost did. Like, he was talking about it.
Yeah.
And so he's defending Edmund, but the witch, like, turns him to stone, which is, like, what she does with all of the, like...
I love it.
I know, and then her, like, castle is just filled with all these, like, stone statues of people. I love the ending when they, like,
when they
get released.
unstone them.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yes.
Oh my god, Father Christmas. So when Peter...
I forgot about Father Christmas.
Well, it's just, like, the more you think about it, the more you're like, oh yeah, like, this is pretty... like... So, Peter, Lucy, and Susan and the Beavers are on their way to find Edmund and, like, basically, like, free him pretty much because he's gone. And they run into Father Christmas, which is so cool. And that's, like, a sign. It's supposed to be a sign that, like, the witch's power is weakening, that, like, she's losing control.
And, like, winter is ending.
Winter is coming. Winter's ending. So they're like, oh, and he gives them all gifts, which is really cute.
I love all their little gifts.
And Lucy gets, like,
a little
healing potion. Susan gets a magical horn. Lucy also gets a dagger. That's important. And, like, a bow and arrow. And then Peter gets, like, a sword and a shield, because obviously. Why wouldn't he?
I kind of love Peter.
I love Peter. I always had a crush on Peter.
I love Edmund.
Yeah, I always had a crush on Peter.
But I like Peter as well. I like both of them. I like how they don't look related.
In the slightest.
No.
Yeah.
Like...
the rest of them have dark hair, and for some reason Edmund's the only, like, blonde one.
You mean Peter?
They're, like, continuing their little quest to find the White Witch. And also, like, they have to cross this river. But,
oh my god. This scene!
It's crazy.
This scene had me so anxious!
And they're like, oh, like, winter is ending. Like, you know what that means? The ice is, like, gonna melt, too.
Yeah.
So they escape, like, the wolves that have been chasing them for a while, like, by getting on the, like, breaking ice and, like, floating away.
Yes.
It's really stressful.
It's giving... it's giving that scene in Elf when he takes the, like, little thing of ice and he goes... Do you remember that?
I haven't seen Elf in a very long time.
Okay. Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Yeah, that's kind of it, pretty much.
Except it's so stressful. And then they're, like, having this chase scene on the ice, and then they have to jump onto one block of ice, and then they're, like, then that gets them away from them. And then the ice is, like, melting, so then there's, like, a waterfall, right? And the waterfall starts, like, breaking, and they're like, holy shit, like we're gonna die, essentially. And then the waterfall breaks, and they all get, like, plummeted, like, underwater. And
in the freezing cold.
Yeah.
But it's Narnia, so it's magical, so it's okay. Yeah.
No one told me that when I was watching this movie.
It's fine. Like, okay, like, yet again, this really reminds me of The Call of the Wild. Did you ever read that? I love that book. It's more dogs in the winter and, like, wolves and stuff. And there's, like, this whole scene where one of the dogs falls into, like, a frozen river, and then, like, the guy, like, saves him, and it's, like, really cute. Anyway.
That, like, has always... It's not that it's a fear of mine, but it is something that I think about a couple times a year.
Yeah, agreed. Like, when I see people ice skating, like, on ponds, I'm like, you're not...
Exactly, right? Like, it is, like, definitely something that, like, I've always thought about. Especially, maybe it's, like, It's a Wonderful Life of it all, like, how he lost his hearing. But, yeah, I don't know. I would never. It really stresses me out.
So eventually, the group. I'm kidding right now. I'm literally kidding because they're not going to save Edmund. They're going to find Aslan, who will help them save Edmund.
Yeah, it's a roundabout way.
Yes.
Which, like, I love how they have so much faith in this Aslan character because they don't know who the fuck this guy is.
You've got to have faith.
Okay.
Gotta have faith. Jesus. Anyway, So they eventually, like, get to Aslan's little camp and meet all of his troops. And, like, you meet all of these other, like, Narnian creatures.
They're all, like, centaurs.
They're all centaurs. There's, like...
Literally, like, all of them are centaurs.
Yeah. What else is there? Well, all the animals, too.
Yeah.
There's, like, a lot of animals that are talking and, like, cool. So... The White Witch journeys to Aslan's camp to claim Edmund, but Aslan secretly offers himself instead. So we're gonna, like, start the, like, little... It's like a little war, kind of. The war begins very shortly.
The war.
But, so Aslan has, like, decided to, like, offer himself to the White Witch, like, in exchange for Edmund. He's dying for the sins of... I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. You didn't write the movie.
I didn't. But, that night, so, like... The White Witch agrees to it because, like, killing Aslan would be, like... Success.
Yeah.
Won the war. And that night, like... Oh my god, this scene is so terrible. It's so terrible. All of the witch's minions are, like, tying him up with rope and, like, torturing him and like, cheering as he's dying. His hair off. It's awful and like, so terribly sad.
And the saddest... So, okay, so, it's, like, the middle of the night and, Susan and... Lucy can't sleep, and they find Aslan, and he's, like, on his way to, like, his execution, essentially, and they walk with him for a little bit, but then he's like, I have to go on my own now. And then yeah,
sorry
and then they follow him, and so they see all this happening, and they see the White Witch kill him, and then they, like, wait until everyone leaves and they just, like, cry over his dead body.
This, like, poor big lion. Like, it's, like, so sad.
It's so sad.
Yeah, so, the witch does kill Aslan and then, like, deploys an army to slaughter Aslan's troops. So this is, like, where the war begins. And
yeah,
Peter is, like, kind of, like, in the front of it all. He's got his little sword.
He's the hero.
Yeah, he's being the hero. He's the Gryffindor, guys.
He is the Gryffindor.
But, Lucy and Susan send a warning that Aslan has died, and
they send it through the trees.
Yes, which is so sick. But anyway, they send a warning, and Edmund persuades Peter to take control because Edmund is now, like, back with them because he's, like, he escapes pretty much and finds everyone, and then there's, like, a crazy war.
Crazy war scenes are happening.
Yeah, they're battling,
and, like, it's so stressful. Like. Like, at one point, Edmund almost, like, dies because his brother's like, oh, like, go back, like, it's not safe. And then, of course, he doesn't. And he's like, why don't you fucking listen to me?
Yeah. And then, so, Edmund is, like, injured pretty bad.
Exactly. He almost dies.
And Lucy and Susan are also, like, on the way to the witch's castle to free the people who are, like, trapped in stone. But before this, we shall discuss Aslan being resurrected. So
yes.
So
how does this work, Maggie?
I will tell you. I will tell you. So basically, like, Susan and Lucy are, like, they've witnessed the death of this, like, lion, and they're, like, standing there. They're crying over his body. I think they fall asleep.
Yeah.
And when they wake up, he's gone. Where did he go? He's dead. They were there the whole time. Turns out they're, like, looking around, and then he, like, walks up. Like, Aslan, like, reappears, and he's, like, there's, like, a sunrise, and it's, like, very beautiful, and he's just standing there, and he's like, I'm not gone forever. And he's like, I'm back. We're so back. And, Aslan is like, I knew I wouldn't, like, die. Like,
so it was, like, the specific place where he got murdered.
Yes, it was the murdered. The stone table.
Like, was, like, you wouldn't die if... What? Like, what
it was something like pure intentions.
Yeah.
Or something like that, but when the table cracked in the middle of the night, which, like, meant that it saved Aslan. So whatever it is, it's a magical table that saved Aslan.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my god, before we move on, we have to talk about the, like, little quote. Do not cite the deep magic to me, which I was there when it was written, you know?
No.
Oh my god, this is so iconic. Do not cite
the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written.
Oh, what? You haven't heard that before?
Well, I mean, I guess I heard it in the movie.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it's like a little, like, joke. It's like a meme now.
It's a meme?
It's like a joke.
Do not cite
the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. they win the battle. Aslan is alive, and he like breathes on the like prisoners, and they come back to life. So
Yes.
yeah, the witch has been defeated.
Thomas,
Tumnus.
whatever.
Mr. Tumnus.
His name is Thomas.
No.
Thomas is back, and we're all excited for him and his red scarf.
Yes, Edmund is healed by Lucy's cord, like her potion, and the Pevensies are crowned King Peter the Magnificent, Queen Susan the Gentle, King Edmund the Just, and Queen Lucy the Valiant. So they're now like they've taken the throne, and the prophecy has been fulfilled, and everyone's happy, and then we get like a epilogue sort of.
I hate the epilogue.
Yeah, I hate it too.
It's
It's
so
not
they
right.
threw in all these actors
Yeah.
that are like supposed to be older versions of them,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like running through the forest, they're frolicking, they're on horses, and they're like they stumble upon the lamppost.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, holy shit, like I remember this. And what did they do?
So they leave Narnia.
But is
And-
it like on purpose?
Yeah, because they're like, oh, we have just been here for so long, like our time is done, and they like stumble out of the wardrobe, and then they're like back to their child selves, and the professor finds them, and he's like, you know, where have you been? But it hasn't like time hasn't passed. They're like,
Yeah.
how did you like? Why were you in there? And they're like, you're not gonna believe us. And he's like, try me. But basically, the moral of the story is that Narnia comes to you when you least expect it.
But I don't understand the epilogue because there's 2 other movies where there
I don't
are
either.
older versions of themselves, so they didn't actually spend like years there.
It's really confusing because, like, in a couple, like, it's suggested that, like, a couple years later, like, when Lucy is, like, 16 or something, they all go back to Narnia to, like, and that's, like, the Voyage of the Dawn Treader or, like, Prince Caspian or something. I can't remember which one it is. But what that suggests to me, and maybe they do talk about this in later movies, is that they were the kings and queens of Narnia, and then those older versions of themselves exist in that timeline at the same time as the younger versions of themselves. Like, when they, like, do you know what I mean?
no.
They never leave Narnia after Aslan, like, the
Yeah.
whole war. They grow up, they become the kings and queens of Narnia,
Yeah.
they're there for however much time. They're in Narnia that whole time.
Yeah.
Narnia timeline, like, beginning of Lucy, Edmund, everybody,
Yeah.
ending. And then once they, like, figure out that they can go home, they go
Then
home.
they go home and then they live
But then they're
2
back
years.
here. So, but this whole time still exists. So they're like,
I don't
they
think
go
this
back.
time exists.
No, it does exist. And so they go back to Narnia while they are still in charge of everything. So it's like there's the older versions of themselves ruling, and then the younger versions of
Is that
themselves.
true?
It's just like that's what it seems like.
When
to
they
me.
get there, are there other versions of themselves there?
not in the first movie. Like
No,
after
in the second movie,
I don't know. That's the thing.
do they get there and there are other versions of themselves ruling Narnia
think
and
so.
they're not ruling Narnia?
I think so.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's a little confusing, yeah. But I would have to do more research on that. That's just my theory. It's been a while.
Alrighty.
But yeah, that's the plot of Narnia.
All right.
Yeah,
You want to go to Lasting Impact?
lasting impact, sure. So this made like a lot of money.
That's crazy.
I can't even read that number out loud. It has 9 digits.
745 million?
Yeah, that's a lot of
That's
money.
a lot.
It was the 55th highest grossing film of all time. And a worldwide opening of 107.1 million, marking Disney's 5th largest opening worldwide at the time. And it was the 3rd largest movie worldwide among those released in 2005.
Oh, so it didn't come out in 2004.
No, 2005.
That makes sense. Because Shrek
And
came out in 2003, right?
And it's still the highest grossing Narnia movie.
Wow.
Yeah, I love this movie. What's your review?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Because I feel like I had such a time watching this movie, and it was not at all what I felt like I signed up for.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, but I don't feel like it was bad. I just don't think it's I don't think it's a Christmas movie.
It's just a winter movie.
I don't even
and there's Santa in it.
it's too, I don't know. It's one of those when sometimes I really don't like when kids movies are too real or too depressing.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like they last better that way.
Well, this felt like too much to me. This felt I felt like they were always on the brink of being killed, and I feel like, I'm really interested in seeing the new one once it comes out, because I think this would not be the same if it was made in 2023. I don't think you put children in that position as often.
You think? I think that's just how the book is.
I don't think, I think, I think people are more, sensitive to,
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like kids going on, a magical journey. And, the stakes are high, but there's some sort of, magical element about it that, makes you feel like they're gonna be safe.
But I didn't feel that. I didn't feel the magic of it, wrapping me and, keeping me safe.
Interesting.
So, I wouldn't say it's tragic. I wouldn't say it's nostalgic. I'd say it's all right.
You say it's a secret third thing.
It's a secret third thing that we haven't come up with.
For me, this is very nostalgic. I love this story as a whole, and I love, I think it's just such a beautiful movie to look at.
It is really pretty.
Aesthetically, it's gorgeous, and I just think it's really well done. I'm, scared for the future of the Narnia franchise with, I don't know, I guess, the remake and whatnot, but these books were really special to me when I was younger, so I love this.
That's valid.
For me. Yeah, and I love that for you too.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Next up, we'll be talking about The Polar Express, another holiday classic.
And if you're scared of The Polar Express, I need you to get over it and watch it. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's so funny.
Get over yourself and watch it. Anyway, it holds up.
I can't wait to have different opinions.
Oh no. Okay. Well, anyway.
And then we're also finishing up House of Anubis, bringing us
Season
to close out
the
year and bringing us into the new year.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Childhood Trash. You can follow us at Childhood Trash Pod on Instagram and TikTok. You can follow Pia at Pia La Placa.
And you can follow Maggie at Maggie and Keating.
We'll see you next Thursday.
Bye.